Hey, welcome to the New Meta episode 97.
97.
90 flipping 7. We're closing in hard on that one hundo. It's a lot. It's a lot of episodes, man. It's a lot of episodes.
Yep, 100 gifted subs for 100. Both channels, by the way. Or just this one. That's fine too.
Yeah, just mine. That's fine. How's everything going, man? I haven't really talked to you a lot outside of the podcast the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's been crazy for me. As much as staying home, you would think you'd have like all this free time. I don't. It seems like the days go by even quicker.
Yeah. It is weird, like getting caught up at work. I definitely work probably 2 more hours a day than I normally would, or just get just fall down like a rabbit hole of questions and stuff. Because we have like a lot of technical debt at my job, and so I'm like always just researching stuff. And anyways, but yeah, it's other than that, my life is pretty much the same. Nothing crazy.
Yep, nothing super crazy. They're starting to let businesses reopen, so potentially my work from home time is coming to an end. So it'll be interesting to get back on a schedule and a more normal schedule. But we'll see.
Totes.
You want to hit up some Diablo stuff? Let's talk about the poll from last week.
Yeah.
Those juicy goblins.
So last week we asked, did the double goblin buff reinvigorate season 20 for you? Options yes, no, and no difference.
I'm gonna vote no difference.
Okay.
What would you vote if you were playing?
I mean, I'm not playing, so I feel like the poll still applies to me because I saw the double goblin buff and it obviously doesn't spark anything for me.
Zero sparkage?
No, zero sparkage. So I'm saying no. Yeah.
Voting? No difference be the same though?
No, because no difference is like it doesn't matter. For me, I saw it and I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like I don't care. Right? Like it's a choice.
Okay. And no means like the same thing. It doesn't matter.
No difference is like I'm ambivalent to the whole thing. No, it's like I saw the double goblin, but I don't care, and it doesn't make me want to play more. So that's a no.
Okay, I would say no. I guess then too. To me, it's like it doesn't matter if it's there or not. I don't know. They're both applicable. I feel like, but nobody really cared. 10% of 10 or 13% was like sure. And if we lump up the no differences, that's a whopping 87%. It's like don't care. Exactly what I expected.
I guess I'm a little surprised because if you make a treasure goblin post on Reddit, it gets like 1 million votes. So I guess I'm surprised this poll didn't get.
This week it's Link Your Primal week on Reddit.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This guy's like, look at my primal yangs, and it's like 1,000 upvotes. What?
Does it even have max discipline? If it doesn't,
it did actually have discipline because I was like that. I actually clicked it for that reason, just so I could be like, it doesn't have discipline, but
1,000 votes. Okay,
it's actually a pretty good drop, but still, it's just like okay,
surprises me every time. Yeah,
I don't, I scour Reddit. So as you guys that are listening every week can probably tell, like we scour pretty hard for topics on Diablo to talk about at this point. Like this is actually probably the hardest it's ever been.
I agree.
For me. Would you agree?
Yeah.
It's brutal because it's like we've covered the Blizzard doesn't talk to us. We've covered Diablo 4 is officially announced and we're waiting for more info on that. And Immortals in a vacuum. And there's like no communication, no nothing. We've already got most of the new sets. So it's just this vacuum, and Reddit's the same, man. It's just like there's a lot of Diablo 2 remake talk, I guess now. Like scrap Diablo 4, make Diablo 2 is like super popular. Which blows my
which Llama posted
mind,
obviously.
Well, yeah, it wasn't Llama, but
I'm kidding.
That actually posted it. But I just wonder if it's like some of his crew or if I wonder if he feels that way too. I can't imagine. I hope he doesn't, but
I think.
How does that?
I mean, yeah. From the impression I got when he was on, yeah, he would totally take a Diablo 2 straight up remaster. Don't change a fucking thing, versus a Diablo 4.
You think?
Yes.
Man, that's crazy to me. That blows my mind. Why would you want old shit?
He's still playing the game. That's why. You know what I mean?
But
he still loves it. Like, if you can still play Diablo 2 right now in the current game climate, right? You clearly have a unbridled passion for something very specific.
I guess, man. I would rather, like, you still have that. That's never going anywhere. So, like, take a chance on D4. And if it sucks, like, okay, that's all right. Well, I'm gonna go back to D2. Sure. But if it's good, then you're like, okay, I got.
But it's also like
finally
the sure thing argument, right? Like, so for me, it's like people ask Diablo 4 or PoE 2, what are you most excited for? Well, like, for me, it's PoE 2 because it's a sure thing for me. Whereas Diablo 4 is a total question mark.
We hope it's a sure thing. They could fuck it up. So it'd be hard.
Don't see how they could fuck up PoE 2. It's the same game.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, that's the thing. It's the same game.
Right.
I don't know, man. Like, I always kind of want to gamble and be like, all right, let's shoot for the big hit and let's swing for the home run. And if we hit it, cool. And if we foul out, then all right.
Yeah.
Real quick before we get into anything else, I wanted to take a moment to shout out the Patreon. I forget every week to do this, and so I wanted to get into it before we start. If you guys want to support the New Meta podcast, we have a Patreon set up. You can catch the link in the YouTube videos. I'll make sure I throw it in the Discords after the streams today. And do you have a command in chat by chance?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, it's in the YouTube video section for sure of the last couple podcasts, so you can check it out. There's a lot of cool rewards, man. One of them, we're actually kicking around some new ideas, but I think what we're going to start to do is get some audio segments that are going to be Patreon only. So if you guys want to hear like some pre and potentially even some post talks, conversations that happen between us, we're gonna, instead of initially having it set up where you can jump in the Discord and listen in, a lot of people can't make it live and they just want to hear it anyways. So we're going to try to just get that audio recorded and throw it in the Patreon, among other things. So go check it out. There's a cool little section and you can see all the rewards and stuff that are on there, but it'll give you some exclusive access to behind the scenes, and it supports the New Meta. So yeah.
Poll 2.
PTR talk. Yeah.
Next week.
What's up? Oh, yeah, the poll. Yeah, I forgot.
So the next poll, very topical. Given the current global climate, would you be more excited than you originally thought for a Diablo Immortal release? Don't say a thing, dude.
I want to so bad, but we're going to talk about that next week.
Yeah.
So we'll switch gears so I don't influence the poll, but people are talking, like, I don't know if it's the lack of communication. People still think the PTR is a couple weeks out. And I saw people asking about I'm like, there is no flipping way we're going to get a PTR in a couple weeks. What do you think? What do you think the chances are we get a PTR in May? I'm going to give it 4 weeks.
I mean, if they're
saying like 2 weeks, I'm going to say 4.
Well, one, I would analyze the calendar. So for starters, the next season, if they ever stuck to 3 months on the dot, would be starting at the beginning of June. Mm-hmm. They've never stuck to 3 months on the dot. They always go over. So I would say at least probably mid-June would be like the earliest if everything was on schedule.
Yeah.
So I think that throws out May altogether pretty much.
Well, if you figure they need 2 weeks to do their post PTR, like, let's see where's numbers fall. Mm-hmm. So back that up 2 weeks, and that puts it in late May.
Yeah,
I would feel like
20th, 28th,
late May, and that's if they give us it 2 weeks. I don't think that's going to happen, man. Mm-hmm. Like, I just like the silence to me. Like, we haven't seen any blue posts and shit, man. They did the one for the double goblins. Other than that, it was Brandy's Peace and Outpost. I'm gonna go to the forums real quick because I didn't write the dates down, but it's been, God, man, a month.
Yeah,
easy. April 15th was just like a general update. The farewell was March 27th. Mm-hmm. Leaderboards not updating was March 10th, which is a bug. I mean, March 3rd was when the patch was live. Like an actual, just the post, like what up was the quarterly update in February 26th. So it's been 2 months since we've even had like non
a taste
mandatory-ish post. You know what I mean?
Yep.
2 months, man. God, that's so long. Like I
What
just
happened
feel
to
like
Matt?
we've reverted back.
Is he
I don't
okay?
know. Fuck, I don't know, man. Matt, we miss you,
Are
bud.
you alive?
Yeah, dude. It just feels like they went back. Like they were going so good and they reverted back. So it just makes me feel like there's no way we're getting PTR in 2 months, man.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Well, that and like the one thing I've noticed, so like we were here in the Diablo directory, you know, Diablo fans, total fucking silence, right?
Mm-hmm.
On a insane contrast, you've got the WoW expansion happening right now, like, and they're doing like, you know, they're on streams, like doing interviews. The Ian guys, like he's been on multiple streams, like talking to people, and like the community managers are all over the place, and they're like talking about the beta and the phasing and what each phase of the beta is going to do, and like super communicative over there.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes me want to think that, okay, well, maybe like, you know, the handful of guys that still work on D3 were pulled because they maybe don't feel like they're going to hit the target date for World of Warcraft. So maybe Diablo 4 got paused a bit.
I guess. Like, what are you gonna have them do? They don't know the systems. I would assume they don't know the systems. Like, you're gonna be like, what do you got them doing, man?
I gotta wonder, like, if
know?
even World of Warcraft and Diablo 4 would even be in the same language. Like, I don't even know.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna pull the D3 guys to help with WoW? Or
if it's the same language, like, yeah, that's totally possible. Like, 100%.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but it's like it's not a huge team. Like, what are they really gonna do in the grand scheme of things?
I mean, I will say, like, you know, like obviously Frankie is a very talented.
Frankie's good.
It's the only guy we know, right? And like, as a good programmer,
he's talented. Yeah.
So I assume like he could hop in and do some damage. So
yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess it's a possibility. I mean, it's just the silence. Like, to me. Okay, so let's think about this and like our daily routines. If we had a customer, right, and like our customer had no access to any of our internal stuff, but we could give them updates sometimes. Wouldn't you be able to find something to update every 2 months? Like, just to email out to them and be like, hey man, we're working on this part of the project, blah blah blah. Like, everything's still going smooth.
yeah, but when have they ever updated us about what they're really working on? I don't know.
Well, I don't know, man. They were communicative about the bots, even though it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, they promised us they were going to squish bots.
Maybe they feel like they got bit in the ass.
Yeah, maybe that's it. You know, if I were to guess, I would say that the D3 team got lent a security dude. And the security dude's like, fuck yeah, I'm going to come in and squash all the bots for you. And they're like, all right, awesome, dude. Fuck yeah. And then they go and they like type out the thing. Yeah, we got the, bots days are coming and all this, because this guy's like promising them he can do it. He comes in, he writes whatever he writes, gets a couple hundred bots, and then they're like, wait, dude, what? Like, there's still a whole shitload. And he's like, yeah, man. Well, really, there's limitations because of XYZ. And then they're like, fuck, so then they kind of ate their foot a little bit.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm just guessing, but I feel like they were promised something that wasn't delivered, and it's not their fault.
Well, to add on what you said, like your scenario is completely plausible. But on top of that, like anytime Diablo posts anything, they're met with quite a bit of toxicity on the internet. So you got to think that weighs as well.
But the only way to get through that is just to put your nose down and push through.
Well, we see that, but do they?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Like that that's how you get through it. Silence doesn't make it better, for sure. You just keep posting the positive stuff and the good stuff.
But it's all marketing, right? At that point, and marketing always pulls like weird plays out of left field. It seems like, especially
like if you want to Switch, post a picture of you playing a Diablo on a Switch. That's fucking marketing. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys don't get the reference, legitimately, when Switch launched Diablo 3, they put a tweet out that said, win a Diablo 3 Switch combo by posting a picture of you playing Diablo 3 on a Switch.
Yeah.
So yeah,
not their best moment.
Genius.
I mean, this was like a month after the BlizzCon fiasco, so it was great timing.
Yeah, that was the start of it. I don't know, man. It's weird. I hate the silence. I do, because I like those guys, man. I like them a lot. Like, we got to meet them, and they were nice dudes. And I want to always, be positive and support them. I just wish that we could get some communication. You know what I mean? So I hope someday soon we get it. What do you think about this D4 update? Like, we got the last one on February 22nd, right?
Right.
And that was quarter one, because quarter one is from February to the end of March, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then so quarter two would start April to the end of June.
Yeah.
So we're not quite halfway through the quarter. What do you think is acceptable?
Well, I think they send so many mixed signals, because like Dainty came out several times and said, it's not going to be like one big post a quarter. You're going to get like tastes, and then we've had like radio silence for 2 months. So they seem to be all over the place.
It was going to be more than once a quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
they went so far to say like multiple times a quarter with like small things as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
and I guess they consider an art update or something a small thing.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, hey, check out this concept art.
And like you said, like they could at least, like that at the bare minimum, and they could just shoot out a stupid concept art, like,
yeah,
it's a little taster to,
I don't like it personally. I could care less about concept
but
art.
It's also like not, sure it's better than dead silence.
Yeah, anything is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And would you rather get Diablo 3 news and updates from that team, even though we know it's not going to be much, or would you rather get the Diablo 4 juice? Like let's say that Diablo 4 team's going to give us another blog post.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
it's like, it's because the last one was like, the last one felt kind of baity to me. Like, we got couch co-op, a UI, which is, the UI is okay-ish. And what else did they talk about in that? They talked about couch UI, co-op, concept art,
couch
co-op. And was that it? Were those the three major topics?
Pretty much. Yeah.
So would you rather get something like that, where it's like, yo, check out the new party interface, and then, whatever, but it doesn't hit itemization, it doesn't hit all these things? Or would you rather have them be like, Diablo 3 team say, hey, this is what we're thinking about, or this is the new set concept we're working on for Necro?
Right. So it's kind of a difficult question to answer, because, I go back and forth. Like, what I obviously want to know what's going on with Diablo 4, but it seems like every post they make just like makes me freak out more, that they're just going in the wrong direction. So at one side of me is like, well, maybe they shouldn't just say anything until they launch a game, but then like we'll be blindsided by like a game that no one really likes. But it also seems like, okay, so they're making these posts like, oh, we want feedback, but then we gave feedback, and they seemingly are like, okay, we heard you, but like we're still gonna go with what we think is best. I think the
problem is they got a lot of shitty feedback that said they love that demonic angelic system, and to me, I guess it depends on what side of the fence you're on,
right? Because
I'm like, this looks really bad. I read that post and I'm like, oh my god, no. And then I see so many people like, oh, I love it, and I'm like, what? Right. How? So it's, I don't know if that's a good thing, man, because people are embracing stuff that I feel like will be bad. But
yeah, sure.
There have been systems in the past that I thought were stupid that turned out to be good. So
right.
What do I know?
But it's tough too, because like, how would Blizzard as a company really differentiate between all your audiences? Because you're gonna have like your people that are playing like Diablo 3 on console, and they play like an hour a month, and they read a Diablo 4 update, and they're like, oh my god, it sounds like amazing. Because like, what do they really know other than like just raw fun, I guess?
Yeah.
They don't care about like systems and mechanics and all that stuff. They're just like, oh, it looks good.
Well, they want simple mechanics too.
True.
Yeah.
It's a tough question to answer, because like, obviously I want Diablo 4 stuff, but that's always scary. Diablo 3 stuff, like we kind of all know it's coming down the pipeline, but it would be cool to see like, okay, is it going to be a revive set? Is it going to be, Bone Spirit or something? Like, we don't really know where they're going. So
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm interested on the Demon Hunter as well, like what they're gonna go. I think they're gonna go a Chakram build or something to that effect, but we'll see.
I don't know. Chakrams can be fit into like Marauder. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. What do you think they're gonna do? That seems to be what the community's asked for so long. I mean, they did really good with the Witch Doctor set. Like, I should have played it in PTR because it's actually a lot of fun to play.
I mean, traps or Elemental Arrow, I guess. But Elemental Arrow could be added to Marauder too.
Because Elemental Arrow Marauder was the thing for a long time.
Yeah.
You had was it the Quiver or the Bow that would give you
Quiver, I think.
hatred when you shot it. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Something else I saw is, and I thought this was kind of funny because we talk about this a little bit, is on the battle.net forums, there's a post that had like pretty crazy views where people were said, please take Riker off the battle.net launcher.
What?
And I thought it was funny. And like, so context before, there? Like, yeah, I've met Riker. Riker's a really nice dude. I like Riker, but I kind of agree with the same, like, you know, man, I would love to be placed on the battle.net launcher for
months,
3 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's insane.
That is pretty crazy.
Like the best publicity you could ever possibly get. And so the jealous side of me is like, yeah, like switch it up, man.
You know what the best part of this is right now? Is he's playing PoE.
Yeah, that's the thing that they're saying on the. They're like he's not even playing the game. You know what I mean? And then people start arguing with each other. It's like Riker fans are like, "Oh my god, he's so good, and he has all these builds and this and that." And then other people are like, "Are you fucking kidding me? He hates the game. He doesn't even play it." And like, it's just funny, man. So, but I just thought it was comical because that's something that you and I have talked about a lot, and especially not having a community manager now.
Yeah.
I don't even know who does that or who sets that or who approves that, but the Diablo team on Twitter seems to still just retweet the same 2 or 3 or 4 guys.
Sure.
And the battle.net launchers had Riker up there for months, and it's like promote some of the people that are playing your game.
Sure.
It's like I don't know, man. It gets a little aggravating, and not even just for me. I mean, like myself personally, I've played every day since this season launched. But aside from that, like you've got like so many people that stream it. Like, you know, Bloodshed does it all the time. I know you guys do promote him. Rack streams it every single day. There's so many people that are in the directory every single day being positive and supporting the communities. Yeah. And it's like, fuck, man, give some love out to other dudes.
Right. You know? I'm just looking through, like the other games don't have like actual people's faces. So it is a little weird. Like for me, so they featured me once, as some of you guys know, and it was like a 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. 1 hour window, and as soon as it's over, it's gone. Yeah, immediately taken off the launcher. So it is a little strange to stay out there. Like, good on ya, but it is a little funny that like he's now playing PoE and his face is still there.
So and no, like I said, man, no hate towards Riker.
Yeah.
If I were in his shoes, I would be ecstatic. I would be like, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, thank you, dudes, for promoting me for free for the last 2 months or whatever.
But what probably happens, Dainty put it up there, and then like she's going through like the leaving, and then no one took it down. No one's in charge of it. So dream scenario for Riker.
Right. Yeah. I mean, every person that plays Diablo will know your face. Like, oh, it's that guy that.
I mean, everyone does already, but if you play Diablo,
man, there's a lot of people that don't know who streamer. And then what's also funny is the rest of the post was just people bitching at F streamers. You know what I mean? And YouTube creators. Like, it's funny. It's just funny to read. So I got a chuckle out of that. That's one of the few threads I've read on the battle.net forums that has actually kept me pretty entertained. Like I read that post for like 5 or 6 minutes. I'm like, oh, this is great content. And then as far as in the Diablo scene goes, you know, like I said a second ago, I'm still playing the game on a daily basis. It's starting to get stale to me a little bit. You know, I found myself started off playing Necro, and I did Death Nova metas, and it was cool. Then I made a Witch Doctor because everybody was saying how good it was, and I have to agree, it's probably one of the most fun sets that's ever been in the history of Diablo 3, at least for group play. I haven't pushed solo very much on it. I'm probably going to start doing that soon. But like, you know, I mean, you can get into metas super easy with it, and it's a lot of fun. And then I'm starting to burn out on that. I got my character fully augmented at like 120, 125 gems, and just smoking metas. They're pretty easy. Haven't pushed them yet, but I think I might in the next couple of weeks see if we can maybe try to get the 150 with me doing DPS at sub 2000 Paragon. That would be interesting to see if it's possible. But I got burned out, and I'm like, well, let's make a Z monk. You know what I mean? And so I made a Z monk yesterday, and literally I'm at 15 or 1600 Paragon. I don't remember exactly. And within a couple hours, I had a full Z monk made, and it's easier than I've played it in the past. This is the easiest Z monk. I don't know if it's been this easy for a while. It's brainless AF to play.
So like, basically what you're saying is in Diablo 3 terms, you've hit rock bottom.
Yeah, I'm playing a Z character now. Yeah. So when I start to burn out, man, it's just like make a new character. That's the only thing I can think to keep it interesting and fresh. And it's like, okay, I'm tired of playing the witch doctor now. It's getting to the point where I'm not excited to log on and play him. You know, like I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do today? Level more gems? Let's see if we can make something new. Yeah. So I made the Z monk. How long will that last? I don't know. A week, 2 weeks, one night. I don't know. But I'm just also throwing it out that you can, if you have a little bit of mat stash to, you know, re-roll some items or to spend on yellow upgrades. I was able to get a Z monk that's capable of healing 130 pluses in 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So anybody can jump in, and it's so flipping easy to play, you know? So
yeah, for sure.
It's kind of a joke. I didn't think it would be that easy, but it is. And that's really about it, man. I don't really know what else. I mean, I'd be interested in the comment section, you guys that are watching this on YouTube, or if you're live in the chat, like, what are you doing to keep it fresh? You know what I mean? Like, people ask me that as a streamer all the time. What do you do to keep it fresh? And my answer right now is just play a different class, play a different set, you know. But I wonder if anybody else has other
my answer is to play a different game.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I've started doing. I mean, I play Diablo until I feel like it's not fun, and if I'm not having fun, I'm not going to force myself to play it.
Sure.
So I'll switch over. Like I got back into WoW. I started getting characters ready for the expansion. That's I don't think they've announced a launch date yet. I don't know. I've been avoiding.
They confirmed, like, kind of unofficially confirmed today that it would be this year. Like they're doubling down on this year.
Oh, I thought they said summer, so if it could be all the way to Christmas, that would totally suck. But yeah, that's cool. I guess it's 2020 though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I kind of jumped back into that a little bit. I just want to get achievements and things completed, and they got this experience buff going, so it makes it really easy to level. So I'm gonna get a bunch of characters that were, you know, 100 or level 90, even up to max level maybe. And if I can, I don't know, I might burn out on WoW too. Who knows?
Sure. That's why I'm kind of looking forward to like next season, because like I'm gonna have maybe the freshest take on Diablo 3 going into season 21 than maybe I ever have ever. So like this will be like the biggest break I've taken from Diablo 3 in years, like maybe since launch. So hopefully it'll be crazy fresh.
And it's you know, the season launch will be a blast. It's always a blast. You know what I mean? The first weekend. It's really that 4-week, 5-week mark. Like, is it still going to be fun? Can new sets carry it for more than a month? I don't know. I mean, I started playing Spirit Barrage 2 weeks into the season. We're now 6 weeks into the season. So Witch Doctor lasted me 3 to 4 weeks. You know, and the only reason, and to be honest, like, Witch Doctor metas are probably some of the most fun I've ever had in the game. So I really like Tal Rasha Star Pact metas. Those were a lot of fun. I didn't enjoy Firebirds as much. And then the Legacy of Nightmares Star Pact sucked. I hated it because the macro timing was just, you had to macro it. Like, you couldn't play it manually unless you're like Jesus, and then sometimes you'd still screw up. Like, to play it efficiently, you needed to macro it, and I didn't like that. But this is fun. Witch Doctor metas are actually fun. So I have a good time doing it. And I think that even made it last longer. But now, I don't know, man. We're going to get 2 new sets next season, and hopefully a badass season theme, because if not, it's going to be like, okay, I'm going to play these new sets probably 2 or 3 weeks each, and then All right.
I mean, worst case
And that,
scenario, it's like Necro gets a new set and it's like not fun or even good, like the wizard
yeah,
scenario.
if it's like the wizard set, and
Yeah.
that's part of it, man. Like nobody's playing the new wizard set.
Yeah.
I group up with viewers all day, right? I get wizards in the group, and what are they running, dude? They're running fucking
Veer.
they're running Veers, Chantoto. And I'm just like, I've never seen anybody running the wizard set yet. I'm like, yep. So
Yeah.
I suppose that'll get buffed next season. I bet it gets juiced up.
Yeah.
The wizard set. And then so we'll really have 3 new sets next season.
Probably.
You know, you gotta count wizard. So I don't know.
But yeah.
Get any PoE? What's going on in PoE, man? I mean, there's nothing really to report in Diablo. So
I mean, PoE is banging. You know, it is a little bit of a strange season. There is some mixed opinions about Delirium going core. So going core is like when they decide to like, okay, that seasonal theme is basically going to roll into the base game. And they've a couple times in my memory have been like, that's not coming over, right? Like Synthesis was the last one. They're like, you know what? It was good, but we're not bringing it over. And this is kind of like, I don't know. I've seen a lot of mixed opinions of people saying whether they like it or they don't like it. You know, people think that like a fully juiced Delirium map is like just not worth the time. And that's totally true from like a farming currency perspective. Like it's just not worth, like a fully juiced Delirium 5 map will take you like minimum 20 minutes probably to run versus like a normal T16 map would take you like a minute. So like the chances of getting currency is like a lot less. So for Trade League, like that doesn't feel very good. I do like it myself because it's like, it's that additional challenge. It's like, well, this build can do Awaken Ray. This build can do Uber Elder. Oh, this build can do, you know, T16 Delirium 5 maps, which is like a whole nother level of difficulty. So I personally like it because it changes up the gameplay style. I don't know why you would ever really juice up a T5 map though. I think that's ultimately the problem is that there's no special, there needs to be like a unique reward for Delirium 5, like a high tier map, because otherwise you just Delirium 1 it and then run it and get a ton of juice.
Do you think if they put a high tier reward for Delirium 5, that's going to invalidate tiers 1 through 4 though? Because you're then only going to run 5s. You know what I mean? And if your build can't, then it's garbage. You know what I mean?
Like for me, the way I use it, like Delirium right now, is I do Delirium 1s because, like, so say I get like a T16 Elder map, and I really, really want Elder items, like, because I'm all about poison stuff. And so, like, I'll use a Delirium 1 on it just to increase my chances of getting really good loot. But I guess if I, you know, knew that Delirium 5, I'd always try to Delirium 5 an Elder map. But then, I don't know. For me, SSF, like, there comes a point where I just can't do it. Like, it's just too much damage or too much health. I just, like, can't get through it. So, it's cool and it works in SSF, but I get why people don't like it in trade, because, like, why would you ever do it? Don't bother. So there is some contention there. Also, you know, there's the whole idea that, you know, going through the map as fast as you can, because that's the point of Delirium. Like, your best tactic for fighting Delirium is to constantly move, never stop and pick something up, because if you stop and pick something up, like, something's going to kill you with like an on-death effect or something like that. So your best strategy is just to like continual forward momentum, like never stop.
So is the on-death effect be to somebody who hasn't played that, would that be the equivalent of like killing a character and they have a bomb that blows up on them?
Like a grotesque, literally like a grotesque. Yeah.
Okay.
So like it blows up when it dies. It's all over Delirium. So your best option is just to like continue progressing forward no matter what. And so what that creates is like, so you go through the map, and plus you're time gated, right? So you just want to keep going. And then like you don't pick up anything because it's what wastes your time inside the Delirium. So, you know, like, you go all the way to the boss, you kill him, and then you like walk back through the map and pick stuff up. And that's not the most fun gameplay loop. So
how long does it take you to loot all the stuff? 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
I mean, it take a while. Like for me, if I do like a crazy juiced up T16, there's so many drops. Like even with a really strict filter, there's so many things I like need to check out as an SSF player. So it takes me like at least 5 to 10 minutes to do like a fully juiced up T16 D1. But
yeah, loot management sucks. And I think that's something that PoE's always struggled with, is just they throw so much loot at you.
Yeah.
That it takes forever. Would you like to see them in the future, like PoE 2, like really lower the drop rate for things? Is it fun to get loot thrown at you? Or is it more fun to not see anything and then finally see something? You know?
Yeah, I think that I know I remember hearing Chris say that somehow PoE 2 it's not going to be smart loot, but it'll be like smarter.
Yeah.
So you'll see things, somehow the game will know, I guess, like what you want, and so like you'll see the things you want more often, maybe, is what I remember him saying. I don't have like anything on paper, but I remember him saying like out loud in a group of people or something like that. So like that could be promising, but yeah, I play SSF, so like what I end up doing is like how you should never play Trade League, which is I literally tear everything out of my loot filter. And so like if I'm not playing a bow build, guess what? I'm never gonna see a bow. I'm never gonna see a quiver. Like I don't want to see that stuff at all. Even if it's the like right. I could have gotten the best bow in the game. I would never know.
It doesn't matter in SSF, yeah.
Right. Because it's just not there. It's not showing for me, and it's not relevant to me, so I rip it out. Right. So like I play PoE like I play Diablo. So it's like basically smart loot. Everything that drops is a chance of being good for me. Right. Not like for some other weird build out there.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I guess at least they have the loot filters to do that, but
yeah, but a loot filter is crazy complicated. That's the other thing that I'm like, I'm not crazy, but it's not really easy to navigate through a loot filter. Even now, like there's some things I'm like, I think that this is the right setting. And I've been playing like PoE for like forever. So right. I can't imagine like any kind of like mid-tier to low-tier player getting there and be like, oh yeah, like they
loot
probably just fucked themselves.
Sucks in like every game, and I hate it. That's one of the things I dislike about all loot-based games, but I love loot-based games. So to me personally, I would rather see less drops, because if you have less drops, you're doing more time killing things and playing the game, and less time looking at your inventory and deciding what's good and what's not. And just make the drops a little bit better, but make them less frequent. And then I think that loop gets you more playtime. The downside is that's super uncasual friendly, because then casuals will be like, well, I only get to play for half an hour.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything. You know, it's like, well, that's the breaks. But I think PoE is already a not casual friendly game anyways. Right. So to me, it's like, man, I would think that lowering that drop rate a little and just juicing up the drop quality could do some things, but I don't play enough to really know. That's why I was asking.
Right.
You know,
I do like the speed GR formula inside of Diablo 3, where like you're focusing on fighting and killing and play the best of your ability, and at the end you get a whole bunch of stuff. Now I don't like how Diablo 3 it's mostly like if you're really playing the high end, you're farming a lot of fucking keys. So really, more often than not, you're playing in a scenario where loot drops right there. And I don't love that. Whereas like GR speeds, that's how I want loot. But you really don't do that.
That's my favorite thing too. Like I don't like doing T16s in Diablo, because you have to go pick up loot, and you'll get, a couple screens away and then see, oh shit, there's something on the map back there.
Right.
Let me go pick it up. And it's always garbage.
Right.
But when you do GRs at the end, like you just plow at the end, boom, get your loot, get out.
Right.
And I like that scenario as well. I think
it's not that's what I want necessarily, but like Diablo 3, like if you're playing it efficiently, like, you're playing like 80% of the time it's drop on the spot, and 20% of the time where it's like at the end, right? Mm-hmm. Or I like the other way. I think it's important to have at least certain game types or certain scenarios where loot does drop on the spot. I think that it's a good mix. I wouldn't say like a 50-50, but like maybe a 70 in the favor of like a GR style versus like 30 and like loot dropping on the spot. But yeah, like the way that Diablo 3 does it isn't great, and PoE, it's just loot vomit, and
it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I had a hard time with, especially as a newer player starting out on PoE. Is it's just like there's shit everywhere. Mm-hmm. Like even with a loot filter. I'm like the loot filter that you suggested the first run, and then one that chat suggested the second run, and I'm still just like, oh my god, like
even that's a generic filter, so it's like you're seeing everything.
I'm like, look at all this crap, dude. So
yeah,
and then eventually I just start skipping. I'm like not even checking shit, because I'm like, I don't even care at this point. There's so much
crazy to me is like, say like a blighted map. I can go in there with my loot filter, and if I hit Alt, which is the button to bring up everything that's on the ground, I can potentially crash the game. Like that's how much shit drops in Path of
That's
Exile.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. So it doesn't make sense.
Like sometimes I forget, and I'll be in a blight and be like, oh, how good is that? Because if you hold Alt over an item that's on the ground, it'll show you like, it's a T1 roll, it's a T2 roll or whatever. So like sometimes I'm like, I don't want to pick it up if it's garbage. So I hold Alt and then hit Alt and it's like, like, because it's loading in all this crazy fucking.
Have you ever had it crash you?
Yeah, back in like when they have more performance issues than they do now. But yeah, it used to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like killing a blue gobby in Diablo.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
That's funny.
But yeah, so there is some like, controversy about like, should this roll over or should it not? What should they improve if it does roll over? People have very passionate opinions about it, obviously. I think that the one thing that I've noticed in particular, I don't know if chat agrees, but I feel like this league in particular, like I remember Legion being the first league where like, wow, currency is kind of out of control. Like people had like loads of it playing Cyclone.
Yeah.
And, like that's nutty. And then, the next league came out and minions were god tier, and like Blight didn't seem as crazy currency wise as Legion, but now like Metamorph's here, and at first everyone's like, oh, it doesn't feel that rewarding, and then they kind of buffed the rewards, and now it feels like because of how insanely strong the broken builds have become, like people are like standing in like Awakener 8 damage clouds, which should like literally one shot you, but they can just like stand in it because like builds are just insane with like cluster jewels and herald stacking. And so the top like 3 or 4 to 5 builds that are just broken are causing people to get so much currency that like it's insane. Like some of the prices are just like 500x for some herald items, like, which is just I honestly it's like 400 more x than I can ever remember like some meta item really being. It's not like perfect or something, just like a really common meta item. But the pro side of that is if you are into Path of Exile and you like Trade League, you can literally play basically any build in the game that's not meta on the cheap.
Yeah,
which is cool.
And I wonder if bots are influencing that crazy.
Oh yeah.
If there's bots that are influencing the Trade League, and then these guys are botting with these super OP builds that can just go smoke the hardest content in the game.
Yeah.
They're not even playing for it.
Yeah.
It's
crazy. Like, like we'll step into like somebody like Cute Dog, right? Like who's just always like he's got the meta going. He's just insane. The content he's doing, the speed at which he can do it. No idea what's going on in his stream like 99% of the time. And like to see the things he's doing, right? It's just like Jesus Christ. Like he just eats awake Uber Elder beams, sits in serious clouds. Like I just like, to me, it's like, what's the point at that? Like if you're just nothing's challenging.
It's almost like you're playing with a Game Shark.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a cheat code.
Cheat codes.
Yeah, totally. It's a good comparison.
Yeah. Yeah, it does take a lot out of the game, man. When you cheat at things,
right?
Meanwhile,
I'm struggling for Awakener 8. I've killed him twice. Both have been like crazy fights.
Yeah. But it's more rewarding though. Like you'll remember that first kill probably for a long ass time.
Yeah.
You'll be like, shit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
other than that, I mean, it's the league. I think it's still popping for being 6 weeks old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still a lot of people in the directory, a lot of people on Reddit. I think a lot of that probably, it would probably be a little bit more dead right now if it weren't for the quarantine situation. Probably, I think that drives.
I think it helps.
I think it does.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like the Diablo directory is back where it was. Like it's feeling pretty small again. I would say that it lasted like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
But it also started off a lot smaller than normal because of the timing.
Yeah, I assume it's because of the timing, but I think next season, assuming it doesn't line up with PoE again on the same fucking day, will be better.
Yeah.
Let me throw this question at you, man.
Sure.
So they get the new Necro set, and it's something like we play it in PTR, and it's, let's just say it's a minion set, like it's a Rise reanimation set. Okay.
Right.
And you're kind of meh. Are you still, and PoE and Diablo launch on the same day? You still gonna do D3?
Well, I mean, I'm hopeful that other things will be a part of that necro. Like, if Pestilence buff is in there too, like, there's not a lot of things that could make me not want to play. Honestly, though, like, there's so much usually it changes from PTR to live. Like, I'd still probably play day one live, and if it's like still mediocre, then maybe I reconsider. But there's really probably nothing that's gonna pull me away from like week one Diablo 3 at least.
Yeah. Unless the PoE league sounds super awesome. It'd be funny. Like from a comical standpoint, I want to see them line up again because I want to see if I want to be like, so Fluff, what are you playing? I want to see those Twitter conversations that we're having, man. Those DMs where you're like, fuck, dude.
Well, it was funny. Like when I was deciding last season, like I had like big PoE streamers coming in, like, oh, what are you gonna play, Fluff? I'm like, get out of here. What are you trying to do?
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny.
It is. Lost Ark, you got some you heard some juice on Lost Ark? I didn't hear
it's all kind of hearsay, but so Assassin, which for me is like the most kind of hype class that I've been really wanting to try, and Lost Ark, I guess that hits Russia in June, so I'll probably be checking that out again.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you know, they had that global launch talk. There's been no news there. We still don't know if that's coming to NA, which is sad face.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. So I hope someday, just to have something else to cycle in. You know, just like, oh, let's go check out this content.
Like I could see PvP in Lost Ark like being a thing that we regularly play.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So,
but in other news, this was pretty big. And so first, someone linked this like terrible article, and I'd be like, if I was Torchlight, so it's Torchlight 3, and there's this original article someone linked to me, and it was like talking about how Torchlight 3 was implementing a battle pass, and I was like, what? So like it sounded like it's gonna be paid content, but like the article was just written so poorly that it just made it sound like you were paying for a battle pass, and it was gonna be like a once every few month thing. And it was like, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, oh, God, that's unfair. But then I go to the actual site. And so what it is like they're implementing what they call contracts. And contracts are basically seasons as we know them in, PoE and Diablo 3. So it's great news, actually. So they're basically going to give you kind of incentive to recheck out the game once every few months, which I think is a really, really positive thing to do as an ARPG. It does sound a little small, but like a game will probably be pretty small at launch. But yeah, I still haven't got to check it out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna wonder. I wonder if you had a chance. I've seen it. I Googled it a little bit. I searched it on YouTube to get some more gameplay footage of it and stuff. And it looks okay-ish. It's the art style is a
Fortnite.
little, and that doesn't necessarily turn me off, but it definitely doesn't help it to me. I'm not like, no, this looks like Fortnite, I'm out, but it's like not what I want. You know what I mean? In any game that I'm gonna play.
Totally.
So we'll have to see how the gameplay works out and the classes work out and stuff. But yeah. And the artwork doesn't look bad. It's just,
let me ask you this. Because like, so I play Diablo 3. I'm not actually a crazy fan of Diablo 3 graphics. I play PoE. I'm not a big fan of PoE graphics.
Yeah, me too.
Is there anything that you play or have played that you're just like, yes, I like these graphics a lot?
Final Fantasy VII Remake? I gotcha. You're like, fuck yeah, they did look good.
Yeah. Okay, so it's either you pick gameplay or graphics.
No, I'm not even going there. I was just joking. We'll throw that example to the side, although that game did look beautiful. I don't think graphics matter in the grand scheme of things. I don't think it really matters. Gameplay matters so much more than graphics. Graphics matter, but as far as the weight goes, like gameplay definitely outweighs graphics by a lot. I think Division 2 looks pretty awesome. Like the details that they put in that game are phenomenal. I think that's a pretty good looking game. I'm sure some of the new Call of Duties look sick. I mean, you played Warzone. How did it look? Did it look
like COD?
Did it look real? Like COD to me looks cartoony at times. Like just not.
It's
Doesn't
like
have.
they try to
I don't know.
capture realism, but like it's just too hard. Like we're not technologically quite there yet.
Yeah, it's like too vibrant and
Right.
stuff. It's too neonish and things like
Yeah.
that. I haven't played that new one still.
Right. That's still why
Um,
Halo is such a big brain play, because you could put a guy in an armor suit. It doesn't matter like what his nose and his eye, like the dead eye effect that you get in video games.
mhm.
And
Right.
yeah.
Or the yeah, what was the game? I can't think of the name. There was a game that had the really bad mouth memes for a while, like the
Mm,
scary eyes. It was one of the huge franchises and they totally botched it.
no idea.
Oh man, I can't think of it. Oh, hit me in a minute. But yeah, they're killing the realism. I don't know, man. That looks good. Uh, Division's got to be the winner. I think that's probably one of the better looking games that I play. Mass Effect, thank you. That's what I was thinking about. Mass Effect had that crazy bad bug. But what
Right.
about you? Is there a game you play where the graphics are just like, oh, this is badass?
I mean, if it
People
weren't
said
for the
Lost, like
yeah, if
Chet
it
said
weren't
Lost Ark.
if it weren't for the art style of Lost Ark, I would really like the particle effects of the skills and like how your character
Mhm.
looks and stuff. Like I really enjoyed in Lost Ark.
Lost Ark
Um,
is definitely Eastern influence.
yeah,
Like it's hella
right. Weeb,
anime-ish, in my opinion. Yeah.
basically. Yeah. The
Yeah.
less clothes you
Which
have
I
on, the
don't
more
mind too
powerful you
much.
are usually. Which,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a good question. It's like on the flip side of that coin, like Diablo 4 maybe graphically looks like everything I would ever dream a game to be. And, especially in an ARPG level, like, wow, they hit that nail on the head. But if the game's garbage, I'm still not going to play it. Like, so
Yeah.
that could be
Yeah.
the best looking game in the world. Like
Diablo
Final
4
Fantasy
was
7,
that good.
perfect example.
Like I thought Diablo 4 was nice, but it didn't blow my socks off.
Oh man, from an ARPG, like isometric ARPG perspective, like it hit on every cylinder for me. Like look great, but not like
Yeah.
trying crazy hard. Like, and the environment would like I don't know. Performance wise is great.
It
Visually looked
looked
great.
good. I'm not denying that it didn't look really good, but I didn't see it and go, "Holy shit. Like this is amazing."
Mm,
I just went like, "Oh, okay, it looks like a really polished Diablo 3." Like that's instantly what I thought. When I
mm,
thought and I played it and I felt it, I'm like, "Ooh, Diablo 3 got a makeover." And it looks like what you would want Diablo 3 to look like.
hmm.
And I'm not saying it's bad. It did run smooth though. I got to give them credit for that. It looked like the game had graphic settings cranked up like pretty high and it was running at a good frame rate. Now I don't know what machines they had us running on. They could have had us running on like 2080 Ti,
I think
990K,
there were 28 Ti's. Yeah,
yeah, like fucking beast machines. Um, but it did run smooth. Do you know if they had us on high frame rate monitors? I can't remember that either.
I want to
I
say
don't think they,
no.
I don't think they did. So, but it definitely looked good. And you said you played PoE 2 like really soon after.
Yeah.
And so how did it, I mean, was PoE 2 like a definite second place, like of any ARPG ever
Oh
after you
yeah,
played it?
it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's why it's
Like
like,
better than Lost Ark too? Like, I mean, just like
well,
instantly, like, oh yeah, this is better than Lost Ark.
particle effects. I still think like Lost Ark just wins. UI particle effects, Lost Ark still beats them both out of the water.
Mhm.
But like graphically, yeah, I think that I like the art style way more of PoE and Diablo 4. But I mean, like, I guess as for an ARPG, like how crazy could graphics really get from like an isometric perspective?
Yeah, when you're zoomed out that far, it's more about the environment,
Yeah.
I guess, conceptually. Like in the
Yeah.
particle effect, like you're saying, the lighting, the fires. And Diablo 3 or 4, I will say they did a really awesome job with their lighting engine because you could shoot a fireball down a hallway and
Mm,
see that light
yeah.
splash off of everything. And I wonder if they'll RTX enable that shit to make it like even more awesome. I don't know if you've done any research on RTX graphics or lighting and how it works, but it can do some pretty cool things, man.
Right. Now, I like so going back to Diablo 4 and how I didn't play. I will say there's that part right of the demo where he like crawls out, right? And I do remember being
Mhm.
like, that doesn't look that good. Yeah, like this, like that's kind of
Yeah.
like I don't know. I would rather
And that's
never
kind of
do stuff like this.
because that doesn't look that bad. You know what I mean?
Sure, it doesn't
Like
look that bad, but it still
it
just
looks
kind of
okay.
looks like a console game or something. But
It's okay.
I'd rather just not have these kind of cutscenes unless they're like CGI.
Yeah. And Blizzard's CGI team is like the fucking
Insane.
best in the world.
Right.
Yeah. Like they should just make movies, I feel like.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I skipped this shit. Honestly, I watched it once.
Sure.
I skipped it every time after.
Like that doesn't look
I'm like my
that
timer's
good.
ticking.
It doesn't look bad, but it just doesn't look like wow.
Like that looks okay to
that
me,
looks
but
insane. But that's like the isometric look, and that's what
yeah, but
I
I'm saying,
talk
like,
about. Right.
That blows like that doesn't blow my socks off. Like it looks good, I guess, but I don't know.
That looks great. I don't know, man.
I'm not saying it looks bad. I'm just saying it's like it doesn't look next gen to me. It doesn't look like.
That's nutty, dude.
Yeah, maybe I've lost my mind.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to play it again. It's been a while. You know?
And that's why it's like people keep it like, oh, what about Last Epoch? Last Epoch. Man, by the time Last Epoch comes out, it's going to be trying to go head to head with PoE 2 and Diablo 4. And graphically, I mean, Lost Ark, or not Lost Ark, but Last Epoch. Oof.
Yeah. If you guys
Not
listen
great.
to the audio version, we have some video up of D4 and now Lost Ark. I mean, now Last Epoch. To see.
So
I didn't think Last Epoch was superior at all in any facet.
I mean, people are really like, I like the decisions that they're doing, like some of the mechanics and like this design decisions they take are like a little bit more complex, and that's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, just doesn't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't blow me away either.
Right.
Yeah, so we derailed a lot, but
Yeah, sure.
the contracts for Torchlight 3, that's cool. They're gonna have seasons.
They're gonna have seasons.
I think any kind of ARPG that can have a successful, solid launch has to have a content strategy in place. And I hope that this is a game that can be fun and be competition. Competition's awesome. We see all what happens when there's no competition. We get a stale product like Diablo 3 that stays the same for a long time, regardless on how good it is. And if Torchlight gives competition, man, that's going to help PoE players too.
But we don't know that this contract, quote, / season means competition. It just means a refresh.
No. I'm not. We don't know anything. Right. I'm just saying. I hope it's competitive ARPG that can. And when I say competitive, I don't mean like it's so stupid to say, oh, it's a Diablo killer. Oh, it's a PoE killer. Like that's dumb. Let's just say that it draws your attention to where you have to make a decision. What game am I going to play?
Right.
Do I want to play PoE? Do I want to play Torchlight? Do I want to play Diablo 4 or Diablo 3 or whatever it is? So when I have to have a decision, like when I sit down and I'm like, okay, I got time to game. What am I going to play? And I'm like, damn, I want to play this, or I really want to play this. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I've never had that. Ever.
You've never had that struggle?
No. It's always like there's a clear cut winner.
Yeah. I've been cycling a lot right now.
Sure.
Stuff. I got Sea of Thieves had an update that came out last Tuesday, a week ago today. And Sea of Thieves is a fun game that's got some really intense PvP moments. And like I had a situation where I ended up fighting it was 2v1. And these guys I was trying to crash their ship actually. And I jumped on and I was like crashing their ship, and they were respawning and I was killing them both and then still trying to crash their ship. And this lasted several minutes and it was so much fun. And then in between that, you're just kind of chilling, sailing a boat, getting some loot. And it's a good time, but it's not something that keeps me entertained for hundreds and hundreds of hours.
Right.
Like it's fun to log on and play a couple times a month. And like the same with WoW. Like I'm gonna grind a little WoW in the off stream, but I do, man. I sit down sometimes. I'm like, what do I want to play?
Yeah, it's because you're playing Diablo 3 week 5, 6 of the season. Everything sounds great. So we got derailed a little bit, but the reason I also brought it up so we learned about the contracts, but we also learned that they're gonna have forts. So your big like hideouts. Yeah, basically. I mean, it is Fortnite, so of course you'd have a fort. Which is good. I think that PoE has hideouts. People really like those. People like finding things when they're adventuring. They've like put on display. I think that like EverQuest 2 had a really good system where if you would kill like a raid boss, it was like really tough. Like you could get his head and you could put his head like on display in your hideout, like as like a big game hunter type situation.
Yeah, that is really cool.
And so that I kind of wish they had that in Diablo 3. Like Diablo 3 doesn't have anything like that. It's like you just pick a town, act 1 or 2, basically. And that's kind of doesn't feel like customized to you at all. There's nothing special about it for you. It's just pick an act.
I like that idea as long as it's not microtransactions. You know what I mean? I'm assuming that Torchlight's going to be a paid game. If it's a free to play game, then okay. But I'm assuming at this point it's a pay game, purchase title. Do you know about that?
I don't know if they've
Yeah,
even decided.
I don't know either. I'm just assuming, so I could be totally wrong. But I don't know. How would you feel? Like, let's say Torchlight's a $60 title, and then now you have these hideouts, and they're trying to sell. Like, let's say the cool shit is actually like a paid transaction from their store, their in-game shop. Are you okay with that? Or are you like, man?
Kind of. Well, like I come from a couple different angles. So like, the way I've seen it work is you got hideouts in PoE, and there are definitely paid hideout stuff. There's also
But
like
it's a free
earnable hideout stuff and like purchasable hideout stuff. And it is a free play title, but I don't know that really makes an impact on my decision making. Like I don't care. It's nice that it's there. I would like to see for a way for games to like earn revenue. For me, buying shit from my hideout is probably never something I would ever do. But if I can get like in EverQuest 2, I never bought anything, and that was an option. And EverQuest 2 is a pay to play game. But like, the cool shit to me was like, killing the dragon and taking his head and putting it up in my house.
Yeah.
But like there was like cool things you could buy as well, and it was a pay to play game. So like it just didn't bother me at all.
Yeah, I guess that's true. An example like Sea of Thieves has some pay cosmetics, and they have most of the shit's earnable in game, but they had some pay cosmetics, and I don't care that they're there. I don't have to buy them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if other people want to support more, they can. Yeah, I think hideouts are kind of cool. It's always nice to have something that you can make yours, and especially show off to people because that's ultimately why you have it, right?
Right.
You want to invite your buddies and have that big raid boss head like right there mounted at the entrance and be like, yo, look what we did.
I think that's why PoE 2 still does like the hideouts or still does the trade the way they do it. Because if you didn't have to go to people's hideouts, then basically there'd be no incentive for people to visit your hideout other than like, hey, ThaPChild, please come look at my hideout. Right.
Yeah.
I think
and you'd be like, I don't care.
Part of the why they still do trade as terribly as they do, because they want people to want to spend money on their hideout.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I think PoE's done a pretty decent job with their monetization and their enticement to get people to buy things. It's kind of crazy to me still that people spend $40 for a set of wings. Like that kind of blows my mind. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't drop the desire for you to want it. Like when I played PoE, I spent money on bag space and things like that. I didn't buy any cosmetics, but I wanted to, and I was close. I was like, damn, I want to get some of the wings, but
yeah, and I always say that, like, people are either in two different camps, seemingly, with microtransactions. It's either you hate them or you've played PoE. And you're like, you either like you're fine with them or you like them. But it's like those are the two different camps.
Yeah, or Fortnite too. Fortnite is the same thing. Like there is no advantage at all in the game to spending any money on Fortnite. It just changes the way you look. And so it doesn't affect your enjoyment at all. It's merely just like, hey, I'm going to support these guys and do it. And I think there's a lot of games like that. But then on the flip side, there's games like Madden or the NBA series. I'm a sports fan and I liked playing sports games. But those games are like total bullshit now, man. They've gone to a complete pay to win system.
Are they?
And people still buy that garbage. Like the My Player and the create a team modes are like spend money.
Really?
My son is a huge Madden player. Like he's a really good Madden player.
Okay.
And he has friends and even himself has spent. I think my son's probably spent like $60 plus the purchase of the $60 game on Madden 20. Spent $60 of his own money to buy these trading cards. And if you've never played it, like basically you do a My Team and you open packs of cards like you would open and like I guess Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards where you open it, you don't know what's inside, right? And there's different rarities of cards, and you just buy a whole bunch of packs of cards and you open them up, and then hopefully you'll get like a fucking Joe Montana quarterback or or fucking Brett Favre, or you know what I mean, like just a really good player, like all-star player.
Sure.
But most of the time, you get shitty players. He's got friends, like he has many friends that have spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on these cards for their season. And it's like it's a pay to win system. So then you buy all these cards and then you have a better team. And so his friend's team is like 98 overall rating. And then my son's team, who has spent money, is like, 80. And he gets a severe disadvantage when he plays online because of that. And it's like, and I talked, I'm like, dude, why are you wasting your money on this dumb shit? So we had conversations about like, I get it's fun and you love the game and this and that, but you see what they're doing, right? Like they're sucking you into spending your cash. And so, goddamn, EA, man, EA, and then NBA 2K does the same thing, and it's a completely different publisher. I guess mainstream is like it seems like they're just catching on to like this card game scheme that Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and fucking Yu-Gi-Oh and like all these other card games. Even does Hearthstone actually have real physical cards yet?
No, I don't think so.
Same shit though. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, have you bought Hearthstone packs before?
Yeah, I was it's kind of the same experience I had with World of Warcraft, where I just like eventually I caught on to my own bullshit. You know what I mean? Like where
No, explain.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I guess, a fluff hates it, if you will.
Okay.
I would buy Hearthstone packs, and I was a little fatigued by the idea when they introduced like the wild versus the standard, and they're like basically retiring cards that I'd spent time like trying to get. And so I didn't love that decision. But then I just like found myself like every new Hearthstone quote unquote expansion, I would get on and I'd buy a $60 pack of cards and like would put a deck together and I'd play for like a couple days. And then like I kept doing it. I did it for like probably like 5 times in a row, up until like the Wrath of the Lich King card pack.
Yeah.
And then it's finally like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I don't really love the game. I get excited to try new cards, but it's like at the end of the day, it's still the same gameplay loop that I walked away from every single time. So like, what am I doing to myself? And it's the same thing with World of Warcraft. Like with this last expansion, the BFA, I still know. It's like I keep finding myself like, what's going on with WoW? I'll see Quinn play WoW, and I'm like, okay, like the DH was kind of fun to play,
yeah.
And then I'm like, wait a minute, like I'm literally gonna grind out all the content there is in 2 weeks as a solo player, basically, and I'm gonna do some heroics, and I'm gonna be waiting on those lockout timers. That's literally the WoW gameplay loop. There's no way of getting around that. Either you like, I'm gonna wait a week after I get all my things, and I'll just start logging in once a week or whatever, or I make alts. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm gonna like. So like, it's so stupid to go back expecting different results every single time.
But can you? But can't that $60 be an investment in what will be fun for a while? Because like you'll spend $60 to go to the movies, right? I don't know if it's quite $60, but you'll spend. Let's say you go to dinner and a movie. Like you're gonna go out, you're gonna eat the food. That money's gone after you consume the meal. You're going to go to the movies. You're going to spend, whatever a movie ticket costs for you and whoever you go with. And then movie's gone in 2 hours. Boom. $60 is gone. You've gotten one evening of entertainment. You could spend $60 on a WoW expansion, play it for 3 weeks, and then be like, okay, cool. You know what I mean?
I mean, what you're saying is definitely feasible, but I don't know. It's like if I were to spend $60 on a meal and then the meal like wasn't very good or left a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that I spent $60 on that meal. And it's the same thing. Like, why would I go back to the same restaurant that I know has mediocre food and pay $60 for a meal? Why would I go continue to see Michael Bay movies if I know his fucking movies are shit? You know what I mean?
So you think that the loop or the couple weeks of the new expansion in WoW weren't that good? Because you said the meal was shitty at the $60 restaurant. So you didn't enjoy the experience for the couple weeks.
Well, it's like it tastes good and it leaves a really bad taste in your mouth kind of thing.
I did not like the latest WoW expansion. I didn't think it was that good. And maybe it's just me getting older and growing out of my MMO love, which could definitely be it. But I will say that at the start of the season, you and I were playing together, and we were doing heroics and leveling up. We didn't really level together, but we did heroics and stuff. And for a week or two, we did that, and that was a lot of fun, and I had a good time with that. Was that worth the $40 expansion cost? Probably not that 1 week experience or 2 week experience, but overall, like, it's been okay. You know what I mean? It's not something where I regret my purchase, and I'm like, I wish I had that $40 back, because that's not the case for me. But it also wasn't the most fun I've ever had in the game either. So,
Right.
We'll have to see. But I see what you're saying, man. I agree with the loop.
Yeah.
I agree that it's the same, man. Like the card companies have been on this microtransaction kick for so long, and it's like, man, Magic's been around for fucking ever. They've been doing this. Yo, buy our random packs. I remember, God, was it Magic? I think it was Magic. Like back when we were kids, what were the big card games? Magic, and then maybe, I think it was Magic, dude.
Yeah.
So they were nuts, man. So, but yeah, that's I guess that's really all the ARPG talks we have.
Yeah.
Looking through the notes we have. There's The Last of Us 2 has me super interested. Did you ever play that? Of course you didn't. It's a PlayStation game. The Last of Us was a really, really fun, awesome, totally badass title. And if you guys are looking forward to Last of Us 2, there were some leaks that came out. So be cautious of spoilers over the next. It's going to come out in June, I think. So be cautious of spoilers for that if you're into it. And I guess that's really it.
Yeah.
You can hit up some questions.
There's a pretty funny meme right now. Like, so Ian was on I think a stream today doing like another like interview, not interview, but like, let's talk about the expansion that's coming up. And
Ian's the World of Warcraft director,
exactly.
I believe. Yeah. In case you guys didn't know.
And in that, he talks about how like there is official support for the controller for a while because like there are people with disabilities. And so now there's like a meme.
Right now there is?
Yeah, there's like an add-on, I guess. But like he's explicitly said like, oh, it's for, people with disabilities. So now there's like a big meme of just like him saying that line where it's like, if you use a controller, you're basically like have a disability. It's like being clipped everywhere. You can like go to Quinn's stream and like play it, with this juice rewards or whatever that
concept. Console port Inc.
No, he said explicitly in that video as well. It was like, it's not something we're looking at. Just to even like go down that avenue or the avenue would be like just like way more mind blowing than people think. It's just not at all what they're looking to do. It's just there for accessibility.
I fucking hope not. So that's cool. They do have a walk thing that you can put on screen too, like a clickable walk pad. It's like I don't know how you could possibly play the game like that, but that's cool, man. If people that have disabilities need a controller and they can get some enjoyment out of the game, I'm all for it. That's good for them to put it in.
Chat's memeing on me for knowing WoW News. Okay, the only reason I know WoW News is because Quinn's playing a little bit. And so I'll ask. Like today I asked Quinn. I said, hey, is there anything that breaks the standard World of Warcraft gameplay loop, right? The running out of stuff in 2 weeks and then logging on once a week and like making alts to keep yourself fulfilled. And you said, no. Like the new tower thing's like cool. And it'd be interesting to see what they do with that. And that's like the only way that answer changes, I guess, is depending on what they do with the tower thing. But he said no, basically straight up. So
there you go. There you go. Well, let's jump into some questions, man. If you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, you can tweet them to myself or Fluff, or you can join our Discords, post in there. Or most weeks I'll throw a Twitter topic out. You can either reply to that or you can just tweet or DM me directly on Twitters. I would say Discord's the best option if you're really wanting to hear your question. The first one comes from Dan, and Dan says, will we see more info on Immortal after they drop the last two class sets?
Like,
so are
all of a sudden
waiting?
Diablo 3 team's going to work on Immortal? No, that's not how that works.
I think Immortal's done, dude. I think either fundamentally something was wrong with Immortal or
they are just feel like they're either scope creeping it Like it
Uh-huh.
was like what was there was just not enough. But the
Mhm.
original company that developed it was like, well, we did what you contracted us to do, like, and we're like stepping down. So I kind of feel like they had to develop like an internal team to take over and like build out a proper game because there's so much like negativity around the game
Yeah,
itself.
I feel like they're kind of playing it slow to make sure the game's perfect at launch, because if they have any kind of bad launch, it's
Bad.
done deal.
It's a bad.
Yeah. And to let the negativity kind of brush over.
Yeah.
I don't think this is really a good thing for the game though. I kind of wonder.
Mm.
I kind of wonder, like it makes me,
Yeah.
sketchy. Like, what if they never release it? What if they're like, well, we're gonna shelf it? I
Yeah.
can't imagine they would. It seemed like it was so close at BlizzCon to being a finished product.
Yeah. Same.
Gameplay felt good. There were no bugs. It played smooth. It looked good. Um, so I would expect news soon. I expected it out before last BlizzCon,
Yeah.
even. Like,
Agreed.
so I'm kind of mind boggled, and that kind of goes back to the poll question, which I guess I can't talk about still. So never
Yeah.
mind.
So shut up.
Um, Hex says, "What's the best Wi-Fi name you've ever seen?" Mhm.
Hmm.
I'm thinking of some interesting ones.
I mean, I'm like one of my neighbors had Cuck fans. Like, so there's like, if you're a KU fan, like one of the shirts that the university makes is like Cuck or Muck Fazoo, which is like, you swap the first
Yeah,
two letters, right?
yeah.
And so like while I lived on the KU campus and was going to University of Kansas, I changed my router name to Cuck Fansas. I'm sure it triggered a lot of people.
Yeah. I used to have mine when I lived in an apartment. There were tons of Wi-Fi's everywhere, and I used to make mine. Like I would switch it like almost probably on a monthly basis. I would go in and just fuck around with it, and I had it for a while. It was like I will hack you or something, like just random things.
Give password
But
here.
yeah, but one of them was I was like I put one time. I hope your wifey's not listening. I said like girl in apartment 1A is hot or something like
Nice.
that. And just like, just weird things just to mess around with them. This was before we met, by the way. So just lots of various. God, I'm trying to think of any that were. I've seen some pretty bad ones before where I was like, oh shit, I can't believe they put that
Right.
in there.
All I ever see is like the fucking default name of the router with some random
Mm,
serial code behind it
yeah,
because
yeah.
people don't know how to change their settings.
Right,
It's probably the default password.
right. Um, Delta says the nearest green item is the name of your next child. What's its name?
The nearest what item?
Green item.
Item.
I don't know what's closer. I got a $20 bill sitting over there, or I got a green lens cloth.
Literally have nothing green.
You have nothing green in your room at all?
No. Yeah, literally nothing.
Hmm.
Uh,
I guess technically my green screen is the closest. Yeah, I got green screen really close to me.
so his name's Elgato.
No, that's not. It's just cloth.
Oh, okay.
Green screen cloth. I'm gonna go with $20 bill though. $20 bill. Get over here.
Yeah. I mean, I can make
Nothing green. Like what's open? What's outside? A cup then? Bowl.
can
Fluff's
make
kid's name is Bowl.
my lights green. So his name will be LifeX, I
Life.
guess.
Nice. Nice.
LifeX.
Druid Boy says, do you think that the viewers still watch your content if your personal opinions or lifestyle is against their beliefs? Example. An example would be you support Trump and they don't. So I take this as like, let's say that you come out tomorrow and like, I'm not saying you're for or against. I don't ever talk politics, but let's just say that you're like, man, I love Trump. Do you think and one of your, like, do you think viewers would be like, man, I like Fluff, I like his content, but fuck that, I'm not going to watch him because of it? Do you think
Um,
games supersedes that?
I think like the opposite is definitely true. I think I don't know if there's ever been like a sub that's like, oh, fuck you. But like, you know, I sometimes say things like that, you know, Trump's stupid, but like I don't think, again, I don't think that's a political statement. It's just like that's just a statement, right? And like I think that actually has offended people, which I mean, to me, it's just not political at all. But I know that's
and I think
definitely
that's
true.
just an example. So it could be like sexual preference, for example. You know what I mean? Let's say that you come out and you're like, man, I like the, you know,
The fairer sex, yeah.
yeah, yeah, you know.
Uh,
You think that would cost you viewers? You think some people are like, oh man, I like fluff, but
if
I didn't
anything, it would help
know.
me gain viewers, you know.
Think so?
No, I have no idea. I've never, it's not really something I thought about. I don't know that are there like really popular like streamers that are gay? I don't even know. Like none popped in my brain.
Um,
Not like, you know, not in a negative
oh
context,
yeah, there
obviously.
is.
But...
Isn't Dan's Gaming?
Oh yeah. True.
Yeah, Dan's Gaming. He's pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean, so
I would not have guessed at all, you know.
chat said ninja.
Stop.
Stop it. Okay, that's not even funny.
No, I honestly like I remember like I tuned into his stream, you know, just a couple times because I think he's like a variety streamer or something, right?
Yeah, he is.
But honestly, I didn't know until like all of a sudden I opened up my Twitter like this New Year's, and it was just like, boom, there's a picture of like Dan's Gaming like kissing his
I don't think
boyfriend or something
anybody
like
knew.
that. Oh, really?
I think yeah. I think I didn't know for a long time too, and it was the same. It was on Twitter, and then all of a sudden, I think
Okay.
I think he like came out, and I think he was relieved about it. But it makes you wonder. It just makes you wonder,
Yeah.
like,
I guess he would
you
be the
know,
one to ask, right?
yeah, if you think that cost you, if your viewers are, or if gaming is like above the rest, or if it's like, no, like I might like your gaming content or whatever, but I'm so against this thing that I'm not gonna watch you. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's interesting. Interesting thing. I would think yes. I would think that people would stop watching you for things like that. But my response to that is who cares?
Right.
You know what I mean? If you lose a viewer because your sexual preference or because
Yeah, fuck him.
your political views, unless you're like a political streamer, like if you're not like, you know, advocating for one way or the other all the time, who cares? You know what I mean? So, um, Sanctuary said, what perceived nice behavior is actually more annoying than it is nice?
Perceived nice behavior.
So people think they're being nice, but really it's just fucking annoying.
Like anytime people mention like, oh, you know, when you have kids, like you'll get like they mean the best.
Yeah,
But
like
that shit's fucking annoying.
Kids.
Right. That shit's so fucking annoying.
It's like Fluff's like, I'm already 42. I'm
Right.
not having kids.
Like some guy was trying to sell me solar energy because like I'd signed up for like a newsletter like forever ago. Because I mean, I would love to do solar. But right now it's just not a good idea, at least for me financially. And so he's like talking to me. He's like, you know, he's giving me the numbers. And he's like, you know, that could send your kid to college, right? Like, and that's big. That's huge. I'm like,
yeah.
It just hits you sometimes as like someone that doesn't care about any of that. It's like, oh, like what an assumption, you know?
Yeah, right. Did you say like I'm not ever gonna have kids?
I always just let it go. Like when it's not even worth. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, oh, I don't have kids. Okay, completely meaningless to the conversation, right? Like, whatsoever. And it always like gives people like a weird vibe about you. Like it's like telling people that like you're love Satan
like,
or something.
I'm not an animal fan. Like I don't like dogs or cats. Like I mean, I have a cat and I don't hate my cat.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
But if my cat like died tomorrow, I don't think I'd be that upset. I'd just be like, oh, it was such a good cat. You know what I mean? And then I'd be all
Sociopath.
But like people, like when somebody's dog comes up and is like rubbing on you and like trying to get you to pet it or like especially if it jumps on me, I can't stand that shit.
I don't like that either.
Listen, like get control of if your dog's not trained, then you should have control of it already.
Right.
You know, I don't want your dog's dirty paws jumping on my clothes and tearing my shit up.
That's what always blows my mind. Like when you go to someone's house and their dogs are like, and they're like, oh my God, sorry, he never does it. Like, yeah, of course he does that all the time. Train your fucking dog.
Time. Like train your fucking animals, man.
Totally.
And it's like, so like dogs are nice and I like them. I just, I don't hate them. I don't really want them either. I guess it's like you and kids. Like, I don't care. I don't like, you're like, oh, look at the dog. You want to like here's an example. Like my wife and I were walking for Corona and this lady couldn't catch her dog. Like her dog got let off the leash. And this lady's running outside. Like we're in a subdivision and it's like a closed subdivision. Sure. There's not a lot of traffic, and so this dog's running around. And so my wife and I are walking and this lady's like screaming the dog's name and like, come here, Baxter, come here, whatever the fuck his name was. And so as we start to get close, the dog runs up to us and like starts like sniffing and like trying to like, are they gonna pet us? Do they have food? Like just checking us out. And I'm just like walking and my wife's like, oh, how cute. And like wants to pet it. And I'm like, don't touch that fucking dog. It could have corona. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't, and she's like, it's a dog. And she's like trying to pet it. And I'm like, get your dog, lady. And she's just like, oh, ha, 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 ha. As the dog's like trying to like rub up on me and stuff. And it triggers me, man. I'm like, I don't want your dog rubbing all over me. Like, I don't know your dog. It looks dirty anyways,
Right. So, I get it.
But I don't hate them. But the nice behavior for me, I don't know. I'd have to think about it more so, but I will say that when people call me, like especially like ladies or older ladies will call me hun. Like, you ever have anybody call you hun? Like, hey hun. I think it's just fucking annoying. Like, hey hun, how you doing, hun? I don't know. I don't know. It's
you look like a hun though,
a hun. Like, hey hun, what do you have to drink, hun? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't get that in a restaurant. So I'm like, huh. Yeah, I don't know.
I got some bonus questions for you.
Oh yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Or you got somewhere to be? I'm sorry.
No, I'm good. I was just checking the list to make sure. I lost track. I was making sure that all of them.
Okay, so a couple of things have happened kind of like on Twitch recently.
Okay.
That I think have been interesting. One is, did you see the clip of Ninja? And he's kind of like flexing.
I did see that. Yeah, where it wasn't Alinity, it was Pokimane, right?
No, not that one. So that's the Pokimane was like, I'm going to donate 1,000 for every. Yeah, that's no.
Like that. Yeah, okay.
So Ninja recently, he was talking about people how like when he faces them on like Fortnite or something, they're usually they advertise their own stream, like on his stream, and then two, they just try to be really annoying or whatever. And then he says like, I could literally like buy the bank that owns your home, and then like force them to like foreclose on your house so you don't have internet.
I mean, maybe it's true, man.
I mean, maybe it's true, but God,
if he got 100 million just to stream on Mixer, and then he's got an Adidas contract and fucking Rockstar Red Bull contract and like all, I mean, Ninja's probably fucking loaded, dude.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Super loaded.
It's not a matter of like, so could he really do it? Yeah.
Am I mad that he's flexing? Like, no, man. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. It's definitely poor taste. Like, you wouldn't see, I guess if a professional athlete did that, that's probably pulling on like the same kind of figures.
I guarantee if Michael Jordan went to the park, right? Let's say Michael Jordan goes downtown Chicago. Do they have a famous basketball court in Chicago like that people go play? I forget the name of it. Well, let's say Jordan goes down there and some dude like hits a three in Jordan's face, right? Mm-hmm. And then he's like talking all shit. Jordan's like, listen, bitch, I could buy your entire block, bang your mom, your wife, and your girlfriend, and not only that, destroy you at basketball. Like, I'm sure he does. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think a professional athlete would. I think, I don't know. I think it's kind of funny personally. And I think Ninja probably gets fucked with 24/7.
Oh yeah, you know it.
You know, like he is like I get a troll. Like I had a troll on my stream last night actually, and it's the first one I've had in a while. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's got to be like a multi-hourly thing for him to just get somebody that's like, oh, it's Ninja.
Sure.
Let's fuck with him. But they enabled a streamer mode for Fortnite where you can click a button and it randomizes your name so people don't know they're playing with him. I guess he turned that off now to like let people know, hey, it's Ninja that killed you. Because you can still turn it on and then everybody's name, your name and everybody else's are numbers.
Right.
So does it bother you that he did it? Like, I don't know. What do you
I mean, like,
I think it's probably poor taste. I'd have to see the clip, I guess, to get the context. But
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he does whatever he wants, right? But I mean,
I think
as someone that markets yourself to be like, yeah, like he doesn't have a demographic, so it's like
he's lost his audience. Like moving the Mixer, everybody at the time. Remember when he moved? Everybody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Mixer too. I'm gonna go to Mixer."
Yeah.
Well, his stream numbers are 15% of what they used to be.
Right. What about that guy that you liked? Is he like dead too?
Yeah. I mean, dead's relative. To me, I would fucking love to have his numbers.
Sure.
But to him, like he still pulls 1,000 to 2,000 people.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I would say more in the 1,000-ish range. And I don't know sub counts or anything like that.
Sure.
But when he was on Twitch, he was pulling 6,000. You know what I mean? So he's a sixth of what he used to be. But also, I think he went from streaming the same game all the time to stay relevant to doing whatever the fuck he wants now. Like he's become a variety streamer. And I think that was probably something he wanted to do. He's like, listen, I got my paycheck. I can retire off this shit. So I can stream whatever I want now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I will say that I was super interested in their switchover to the big people that left Twitch and went to Mixer. And I will say that it seems like watching them now on Mixer, they definitely don't seem as happy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It seems like the loss of relevancy and the loss in viewer counts and things, it seems like it's affected them. Like they're not, it seems more like it's going to a 9 to 5. It's like, oh, my time's up, I'm out. And they're like, hey guys, what's up? And it's just, I don't know, man. It's just different. It's not the same content that it used to be.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, it's like, to play devil's advocate, like I do feel like the platform and streaming in general, it definitely programs the user or the streamer to, get highs for high viewer counts, high sub counts, high anything counts versus like seeing that number go down. Yeah. Psychologically, it's just not gonna feel good either way.
And even as we've, at least for myself, I'll speak for myself, as I grew in the Diablo directory, it was super awesome and super high. And then I plateaued, and then you start to like, oh shit, you know what I mean? And then as Diablo staled and you start to go down, it's even worse. And like I've struggled with loss in viewership and subs and all that stuff over the course. And you're kind of a victim of the game that you've attached yourself with.
Sure.
You know what I mean? If your game starts to die, you start to die. You know what I mean? So unless you can make a successful transition, which is really hard, but it definitely affects you. But I think you can see it on those guys for sure. Like, Ninja especially. I think Ninja's kind of, I don't know, man. And some of that stuff I think creates relevancy. Like he wants to be talked about. He wants, if he just goes and does his stream and doesn't talk shit to anybody and doesn't do anything, then people forget about him.
Sure.
If he's on Twitter blasting the biggest streamers and talking shit to Tfue, for example, like Tfue is a better Fortnite player from what I've seen anyways, but him and Tfue get into it and Tfue's like, fuck you, Ninja. And like, that's getting Ninja talked about, it's getting his name out there. So,
people like to
maybe that's what we got to do. We need to piss people off.
Or we need a nip slip. We could just do that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Put a pillow under our shirt and whip boob out.
Or the other thing I want to talk about, which would make you super relevant, is for basically shaming your own viewers, for not subbing. So there was that thing like 2 months ago of that Bad Bunny. She was like, it's $5, right?
Yeah.
And now there's this new one, Invader V, something like that. And she's just like basically Like regardless of like wherever you live, it's like maximum $10 to sub. If you can't sub or if you're not subscribing, you're just irresponsible with your money. That's all it means. Like you're not going to tell me any differently.
Yeah.
And then she gets really dark and she's like, and you're like probably like basically like jerking off and your mom's like in the other room and it's like so fucking dark and psychotic. But and then like there's another clip of her where it's like someone comes in chat and they're like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful," and she goes, "Oh, Matt, don't say that without subscribing." It's just like so fucking cringe.
Yeah, dude, it's nuts, man. It's and you see both sides of it. Some people defend it and some people flame her for it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I mean, part of me is like, if people are watching that shit, then whatever. You know, she could say whatever she wants. Because if I saw a streamer say that, I'm just gonna leave the stream. You know what I mean? I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. I'm out.
Right.
You know? But people stick around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know?
it's and then since then she's come out and like apologized. She like said shit like, "Oh, it's obviously not how I feel." And just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So I actually saw like I think it was a Reddit post and some dude made a video on it and they like tracked with I think it was Social Blade. They tracked it was Social Blade do Twitter? I don't know. But anyways, they were tracking her Twitter followers. And apparently she gained like 90 something thousand Twitter followers after that, but then she lost like 80 something thousand Twitter followers and then Twitter purged like the bots off her. And so like the basically boils down to where it looks like she bought a whole bunch of Twitter followers like right after that happened too. Because it's just funny, man. I think that obviously she said it for the publicity. Right. I don't see how any sane person could think that would benefit their stream at all to say that shit. You know what I mean?
Unless
it's gotta be for relevancy, man. It's gotta be just to get the like, I don't know.
Yeah. But did you see
That's not what I would want. Like, okay, so go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna jump topics, but what were you gonna say?
I was gonna kind of jump too, but I was gonna talk a little bit like Quinn's chat to me feels like it's one of the more toxic chats. Like they're pretty brutal to Quinn at times and to people. Do you agree with that?
To people?
His chat is pretty
troll.
Yeah, I shouldn't say talk. I would say troll.
Okay,
that's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
More so than like pretty much anybody else.
I will say there's probably a lot of viewers that come in Quinn's chat, and I think this happens regularly. They see chat trolling him, and they're like, "Oh, we're flaming the streamer, so like let me jump on board. This is fun." And so they're like being serious, but it's because they don't really understand like the dynamic. I think that happens a lot, and so it can seem really toxic sometimes. But he's also done like more bans probably per capita than he's ever done like the past few months.
Has he? Has he been cracking down on it lately? Yeah, because it's at times I see it, and at times I'm like, man, that would wear me down. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I don't know. Well, go ahead. What were you saying?
Well, and then to completely see the flip side, did you see the New Zealand Kiwi like Maori guy like doing the wood carving? Oh my god,
like, was like being super nice.
The most adorable clip I've ever seen. Chat, if you guys have, you should Google that one. But I don't remember his name.
Is he the one that was like trying to give the sub?
Yeah,
yeah.
The cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. But it's like, can I give the money back?
Yeah. He was like building something. Like he was like in a wood.
Yeah, it's a totem. Like I think he's Kiwi's Maori culture. So I think he's building like a, whatever they call those things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
It's a little bonus podcast, Twitch relevancy talk.
Who knew that if you could like get a popular clip saying, "Let me give the money back." Like,
right? Yeah, and he's got a ton of money out of that.
Ton of money. He got like 100,000 followers in like a day, and
but I mean, deserving, super fucking nice, doing what he's passionate about on his own stream. Like that's literally the dream.
Yeah, so it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all the questions we had this week. Again, check the Patreon out. We got some cool stuff we can hit up there, and you guys want to support the New Meta podcast. You can look into that. If you want to follow us on social medias to get more things, you can check me out at Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all the places. Just search for ThaPChild.
Yeah, and I'm Lord_Fluffy, double those underscores on the Twitter. We'll see you guys next week.